Today I thought it would be interesting to see how the new M2 iPad Air compares to Samsung's cheapest flagship tablet, the Galaxy Tab S9. So let's go ahead and get started. Pricing is actually closer than you would think between these two, with the Galaxy Tab normally at $799. It's already marked down to $699 as of this video versus $599 for the iPad Air. Keep in mind though, that's with the S Pen included, or if you get an Apple Pencil, that's going to be about an extra $100 or so. They both start with 128 gigabytes of storage, but you are going to get more storage options with the iPad at 256, 512, or even 1 terabyte versus 256 as the only other option for the Galaxy Tab. One advantage with the Tab S9 is you get 12 gigabytes of RAM with 256 gigabytes of storage instead of 8, and you can expand the storage with a micro SD card as well. The screen sizes are somewhat similar, but as you can see, slightly different aspect ratio. The iPad is a little more squared off at 10.86 inches, where the Galaxy Tab is more of a widescreen format, and they don't round anything up. It's an actual 11 inches. While both tablets look really nice in person, I've got to give it to Samsung with its dynamic AMOLED 2X display at 120 Hz refresh rate versus 60 Hz on the LCD display for the iPad. The resolution is pretty similar though, at 2560 by 1600 for the Galaxy Tab versus 2360 by 1640 for the iPad. The actual thickness of these two tablets are pretty much identical. The Air is a little lighter though at 462 grams versus 498 grams for the Galaxy Tab. So if you're asking which has the better display, I would probably lean towards Samsung on this one. I feel like the contrast and blacks are a little better on the Galaxy Tab in most cases, even though both look pretty good in person, and the Galaxy Tab seems to have a little bit better viewing angles versus the iPad as well, but it may come down to personal preference. The big advantage for the Galaxy Tab is when it comes to battery life. It lasted about 9 hours in my typical battery drain test at 100% screen brightness versus about 5 hours for the iPad Air. Obviously you can get better battery life by turning the screen down to about halfway, but if you want the tablet with better battery life, I'd go with the Tab S9. You also get up to 45 watt fast charging with the Galaxy Tab versus 20 watts for the iPad. Software-wise, the Galaxy Tab is on Android 14, One UI 6.1, and the iPad's on iPadOS 17.5.1 as of this video. I like things about both, and it may come down to personal preference, but the nice thing is you've got video out, so you can easily connect either one to a TV or external monitor using an HDMI adapter. And then you've got things like Samsung DeX on the Galaxy Tab, which is nice to be a little more productive. Then you've got Stage Manager on the iPad, which does help switch between apps a little faster. I feel like you get some extras on Samsung, like how you have the Edge panel, which you can customize. You've also got the taskbar down at the bottom. Again, sort of personal preference, but you've got the fingerprint scanner on the power button for the iPad versus right on the front of the screen for the Galaxy Tab, which I tend to prefer. It just feels a little more natural and easier to use than on the power button. And then I believe you get 4 years software updates, 5 years security on the Galaxy Tab, where you typically get about 5 years of software support on iPads, so it's going to be fairly close when it comes to software support. One advantage for the Galaxy Tab is the S Pen is included, where you have to pay extra for the Apple Pencil Pro or USB-C pencil. These are probably two of the better options out there for taking notes, drawing, or just moving around the software. So it's going to be personal preference on which one has the better pen or stylus support. Now when it comes to performance, you've got the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor in the Galaxy Tab S9 versus the M2 chip in the iPad. I feel like the performance on the Galaxy Tab is probably the best that Samsung's ever had, but as you can see by the Geekbench testing, the iPad is still winning in single and multi-core scores, and it's not even close in the GPU scores, with the iPad being almost 4 times that of the Galaxy Tab. They both feel pretty fast and smooth overall, but if you want the tablet with better performance, you'll want to go with the iPad. Somewhat similar when it comes to gaming. Nice thing is both of these are going to be some of the better options out there if you want a tablet for gaming, and they should be able to handle just about any game out there, regardless of which one you go with. Now when it comes to the speakers, Samsung has 2 actual speakers on each side, and they're even better than the previous Tab S8. The iPad looks like it has a quad speaker setup, but it's only 1 on each side, so not a surprise here, but the Galaxy Tab does have louder and better sounding speakers, especially if you turn Dolby Atmos on. But here's a quick sample of each just to give you an idea of what to expect. As far as cameras go, you have a 12 megapixel wide angle lens on the back of the iPad, 12 megapixel ultra wide on the front, then you have a 13 megapixel wide angle lens on the Galaxy Tab versus 12 megapixel ultra wide on the front. You can shoot up to 4K 30 frames per second on the Galaxy Tab, on the front and back, 4K 60 frames per second on the back of the iPad, and 1080p resolution on the front. Overall, both are nice options as far as photo and video quality, and should be a good option for Zoom meetings or other video conference calls. But here's a quick sample of each just to give you an idea of what to expect. So as you can see, definitely some good things about both tablets. If someone told me I can only have one of these for the next 4 years, I think I would be happy with either one. But if you like phones, tablets, and other tech, I've got a lot more stuff that I'm working on, so keep an eye out for those upcoming videos. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.